Hi besties, welcome back to my channel, or hi, my name is Stacy if you're new here. So for today's video, we're doing this makeup, which is a full face of nothing new. So all of these are like older products, like none of them are hot new releases. And I generally try to pick things that I haven't like used in a bit, just to, you know, give some of my other products in my collection some love. I want to kind of do this type of video as a way to truly appreciate everything in my collection. So if you want to see how I got this look, then just keep on watching. But before we get into it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this, because it really helps out my channel and it would really mean a lot to me. Let's just get right into the video. Okay, so first I'm going to start off with the base. So today we're using the Dior Backstage Face and Body Foundation. So this is a super famous and iconic foundation, but I don't think I ever featured it on my channel. And also the reason why I'm holding up two shades is because I feel like their shade range is a little bit strange. So like I'm in between these two shades, 0N and 1N. The shade jump, there's like 3 shades that should be in between these that are neutral, like, you know what I mean? So I have to mix both. I was a little bit shocked by the shade range here because I have bought other Dior complexion products and I didn't find that I had that problem, but in this specific line I was like, excuse me. So anyways, oh, but before that, actually I want to prime my face with the Hollywood Flawless filter. Mine is really ugly, and this is in the shade One Fair. So I'm gonna prime it because the Dior Backstage is more on the matte side. So I like doing this with more matte foundations because it gives me that lit from within look that I like even with a matte foundation. And then I tend to try to avoid the area right here next to my nose. That's where I have the biggest pores and get the most oily, so I don't want that to be emphasized. I feel like I always forget to use this Hollywood Flawless filter unless I'm using a more matte foundation. Like if I'm already using a glowy foundation, I don't really feel the need for this, especially as an oily gal. But yeah, see how nice that makes my skin look? I do look a little bit too greasy, but it's gonna go down with the foundation. I'm gonna show you, this is what 0N looks like on my hand. The thing with Dior foundations though is that they tend to oxidize a little bit, so it does end up darker than this. And then I do like 2 drops of the 1N. I just want to show you the shade difference. Hopefully you guys can see that. Like this is 1N and this is 0N. And just like, that's not a one shade difference, you know what I mean? So anyway, I'm just gonna mix the two. I like this part because it's like art class or something. So you see how that made a much more natural looking shade, not too bright, but also not too like peachy. I don't know, the 1N also looks very peachy, but I'm not sure if that's just because it's too dark for me on its own. Like it's giving orange by itself. I really like this foundation actually because it has a nice liquidy spreadable consistency. I feel like I've been into more matte foundations recently. What are your guys' preferences these days? Like I was in the glowy like purely glowy foundation for I feel like 2 years almost at this point, like when it started becoming a thing, becoming like trendy. But yeah, I've been gravitating towards more matte foundations recently. I think especially because on Douyin, which is Chinese TikTok, they all use matte foundations and it like photographs better and stuff like that. So I have been enjoying the pros of matte foundations recently. Like it also does tend to last longer and like blur over pores and texture in my opinion better. And also in the hotter seasons, like if it's humid where you live, it definitely becomes unmatte like throughout the day. Okay, so that's the foundation all applied. You can see on my face. But you can see how that Hollywood Flawless filter added this like natural glow to it, so it actually doesn't look matte. But if I didn't add that, it's a pretty natural matte finish, I would say. Like it doesn't add any glow. It definitely has a dry down. It like fully sets. And also it gives you like, I would say medium coverage. Definitely not the most full coverage because you can see some like freckles and stuff peeking through, but overall like it evens out my skin tone really well and like blurs my pores and texture. So I do overall really like the Dior Backstage foundation, especially with the warmer months coming up. I feel like I'll use this even more. Okay, now we're gonna conceal, so I'm gonna go into my Bobbi Brown light bisque corrector. I'm gonna put that under my eyes. I'm just going to use this Kosas Revealer Concealer in shade 01. I like wearing this concealer more like on the everyday. If I would want a really long lasting concealer, or like if I'm going to go out, I would wear like my Tarte Shape Tape. Or if I want more full coverage, because sometimes the dark circles be dark. And I'm going to let it set a little. I'm going to go into my BBH Brow Powder, the shade Medium Brown. I'm just going to start drawing on some eyebrows. I've mentioned this in a previous video, but I think brow powders are the best way to get the most natural looking brow. Or like I find it hard to over darken my brows with this, whereas like with other products I feel like I sometimes just make my brows too dark for my face. I know some people look really good with a strong eyebrow, but I think I look a lot better with like a soft eyebrow. But the thing is, like my eyebrows are naturally relatively dark. Like I don't need too much filling in, but they're kind of like patchy in some areas. So I feel like sometimes I accidentally like make them too defined. It's really obvious if I go back to my like younger days of doing makeup, like in high school and early college. When I see my pictures from those times, I'm like, why did I make my eyebrows so dark? But the thing is, at the time, it's so hard to tell, you know what I mean? I feel like it take a little while to do my eyebrows, so I'm just gonna blend this out now. Because the thing with these is you don't want to wait too long, or it will, you know, leave a spot. Okay, now I'm just gonna go in with my Makeup by Mario Brow Gel. Okay, so now the brows are all done, so let's move on to the eyes. I'm gonna zoom you guys in. So for today's eyeshadow palette, I picked the Norvina palette, which I haven't used in like literally so long. It's perfect for spring, like you have those pastel tones. And I want to go for like a pinky vibe today, like everything pink. So yeah, I figured this would be a good time to break out my Anastasia palette. No one talks about them anymore. I feel like ABH is kind of irrelevant these days. What do you guys think? It used to be all the rage, but these days I feel like I don't hear anyone talk about them. But also they haven't like released any new palettes that aren't part of the Norvina line. First, I'm using my ABH primer. I'm trying to be better about using primer and seeing if it actually works or not. Because generally speaking, it's not a step that I do in my routine, but especially with like lighter pastel shades, I'm trying to use the primer. Yeah, let me know what you guys think about ABH. I feel like they used to be the gods on social media at least, and I haven't used their palettes in a while, so I'm glad to be revisiting it. I guess I'll start off with Love, the pink matte, and just brush that through the crease. I kind of forgot how powdery their eyeshadows are. Like I have to tap off my brush and there's so much kick up in the pan. But generally speaking, that doesn't really bother me, but it's just like, it makes it kind of messy, which is kind of annoying. I think I'm gonna use a smaller brush. I'm just kind of putting that in the outer corner, I guess, to kind of build some depth. And maybe like more inside the crease. I just need more control with a smaller brush. And then also gonna take that, put on the bottom lash line. Put that as very pigmented. You know what I'll say about this is it's a lot warmer than it looks in the pan. I haven't used this palette in like probably years, so I kind of forgot. But I thought it would be more of a pastel pink. Okay, now it kind of looks like I have pink eye, but I'm gonna go into the pink shimmer called Wild Child. Hopefully this will make the look better. It's a very pretty pink and it has like a gold shift. Oh yeah, and it's cooler in tone, which is what I want, because it's not going to give you that like pink eye look. I know some people are really afraid to wear pinks on their eyes. I feel like it's just about finding the right shade of pink. Also, I feel like as long as you line your eyes, it makes it look better and not so pink eye-ish. Yeah, you kind of want to stay away from pinks that have a lot of red in them. I mean, if you like that, that's obviously like up to you, but just if you are really afraid of that pink eye look. I've seen people do, you know, pink and red eyeshadow and it doesn't really look like they have pink eye, but I think it's because the eyeshadow is so intense. Yeah, I think that's the thing. You want to either go like really pastel-y and like a wash of color like this, or if you're gonna go for like a redder pink, which is like closer to the pink eye look, you kind of want to go more intense. Then it's like clearly makeup and not just like your eyes are red, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's not really my vibe. And also, I tend to not like red anyway, so I just steer away from that. Okay, I think I actually want to darken the outer corner a bit. Maybe this volatile shade is gonna make it less pink, but I think maybe I want to make it a more nudie pink. Yeah, I made it a little bit brown. I just wanted it to be slightly more wearable. Okay, also we're gonna add some of this Dreamer shade to the inner corner. Ooh, it's very pigmented. Very pigmented, smooth metallic. I'm like not used to the ABH formula anymore because I haven't used it in so long. Very pigmented and creamy. Like I just barely dipped my brush into the pan and it's just extremely smooth. I want to add some more sparkle because these are nice like smooth metallics, but I want that glittery sparkle. So I'm gonna go in with this Pat McGrath Ritualistic Rose Quad. Specifically this pinky gold shade right here. This is like a special shade and we're just gonna use that to amp up the sparkle. And since it has a gold flip, I feel like it goes really well with this. I'm trying not to, you know, completely cover the pink color. Hopefully you guys can see that extra shimmer. I feel like it also helps to tie in the gold from the rest of the look. Yeah, now you can see how it has that extra sparkle to it, so super pretty. Now for eyeliner, I think I'm gonna go into this Passion shade, which is kind of like a warm, rusty, dark brown. I feel like the eyeliner just really kind of tied the look together. Also, the shadow is very nicely pigmented. Because some dark browns are not super pigmented, and then it's harder to create a liner with it. This one I think is darker than it looks in the pan. Okay, so I feel like that's pretty much it for the eyeshadow. So now I'm gonna curl my eyelashes. A few of you have been asking me to show me doing my eyelashes on camera. So first, I just take my regular Shiseido lash curler, and I just curl as much as I can, and it looks like that. Let me do the same to the other eye. It usually takes a few times, as you can see. I'm pressing it like multiple times. Also, so you want to do it at the base and then kind of start lifting your lash curler so you get that like C curl rather than it just being like an L, like a curl at the bottom and like straight up. You want it to be like curved, so you have to like take your lash curl and like curl upwards. Anyway, so then my lashes look like this, which is good but not perfect. Then I take my mini one and I curl the inner ones. But then I also just kind of go through the whole lash and just kind of curl like areas that I feel like are uneven. Like this helps to just really make all the lashes in one line. But I pay specific attention to the inner and outer corners because those are the parts that like don't get picked up by my lash curler. And then I just do the same thing to this eye. So now I'm going to use my Essence Lash Princess mascara. I use either this or the Too Faced Better Than Sex one, and both are waterproof. Like you have to use, if you have Asian straight lashes, you have to use a waterproof mascara. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. I don't know about for Asian mascaras because I haven't actually used any Asian mascaras. Like I know the Kiss Me Heroin Make one, like that Japanese one is really popular, or just any other like Korean mascara. But yeah, I just never use those because I find Western mascaras work fine for me, but I just have to use a waterproof version. Like anytime I try a non-waterproof version, no, it's not gonna work out for us, okay? Like they just either droop down immediately or later during the day. But the waterproof ones, they always stay up. So yeah, and then I don't really have like a method for putting the mascara on. Just kind of like wiggle from the base. And then I use the tip to get into the outer corners because I feel like that part's hard to get like just horizontally. You use a tip like that. You can use that to get any places that you feel like weren't properly coated. And then you also want to make sure you get the very tips of your eyelashes because a lot of times it's easy to focus at the base because you want the most volume there, but depending on like the angle of the curl, sometimes you can't get the tips unless you specifically like focus on them. But yeah, you just want to make sure you get all the way to the tip because it will extend your eyelash the most. Okay, and then like for a natural look, I'll just put one coat, but if I want a more dramatic look or if I'm going out or something, I will put 2 coats. The only thing is with these 2 mascaras I've been using, like this Essence one and the Too Faced one, is that I find that they kind of flake sometimes. So let me know your guys' waterproof mascara recommendations. Okay, I'm gonna quickly do another coat because I want this to be a little bit more dramatic. But this level is fine for my everyday. But yeah guys, this is why I always skip my mascara step I'm showing you. Because it's just like the same thing. And also, it takes me like 5 to 10 minutes to do my mascara. Like I feel like it takes me extra long compared to other people. Just because I have to like be really careful, like I'm wiggling, making sure I get every single lash, like making sure each lash is like kind of evenly coated, and like separating it to be how I like. I feel like I'm just very particular about my lashes. And then also I have to be careful, wiggle it like gently so that I don't touch my eyelid because that happens like all the time. So that ends up making this process take a while. It's like such a simple thing. Okay, so that's the eyes and eyelashes all done, so you can see. And I'll zoom you guys out now so we can do the rest of the face. Okay, so I actually want to contour today. I've been back into my contouring kick. I kind of like stopped for a while, but I'm using the Fenty Amber Matchsticks. This is my favorite contour color because it's the most cool toned contour I've found. So it actually like looks like a contour instead of a bronzer on me. So I'm applying it and blending it out pretty fast because if you wait too long, it can kind of get harder to blend, especially on top of like a more matte base. If you blend it out fast enough, it's pretty easy to blend in my opinion. So hopefully you can see how that just like chiseled this side of my face compared to this one. And then I also like do it on this jawline right here. You want to blend basically both above a little bit the line and below the line a little, because it will help define your jaw. And then do the same on this side. So where I draw it is always above, like my actual cheekbone is lower, but I draw it right above that because when you blend, it will blend down. And you just want that more lifted look in general. Makeup has rules, but you don't have to follow any of the rules. You can just do whatever you want. But this will be like the most flattering. Yeah, hopefully you guys can see that it blends down into the place that's supposed to. And I specifically contour like my temples here. You guys can see I drew like a C shape, and that's because my temple right here is like the widest part of my face. So this obviously depends on your face shape, but you just want to contour and sculpt things that you want to minimize. As you guys can see, my forehead is really narrow. Like it basically goes to a point. So I never contour here. I know a lot of people contour like their or what is this place called? I guess, wait, isn't this your temples? Then what is this? Anyway, this part right next to my eyes and like ears is the widest part of my face, as you can see. I know for a lot of people it's like their forehead temples. So yeah, people will contour here, but as you can see my forehead goes like that. So I never contour here, but sometimes I will contour like at the top a little bit. That's not like really necessary for me. I usually forget to do this part. Yeah, that will help like shorten my forehead. Now back to the jaw. I want to like create a smooth line. You see how my jaw is a little bit lower here? It kind of poofs out and then is my chin. So you want to kind of cut that and make it into a straight line instead of a curved line like it is. Okay, and then lastly, my double chin, as you can see. Also have a really short chin, so I basically have like a permanent double chin. Yeah, so actually I really found that this double chin contouring really helps. Like just in this pouch right here, you just want to darken that, kind of blend that into the jawline contour that you did, and then blend it down. Like I feel like that darkening really just conceals the double chin. We're looking pretty snatched now. So now I'm gonna go into blush. I'm gonna use this NARS Orgasm Liquid Blush. This is like a really old product and I haven't used this in a while, but it kind of like got re-popularized because Madison Beer used it again. Oh, and also like Michaela, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but Michaela, like, you know, the makeup artist on TikTok who's like really famous, she also used it. I'm gonna use a stippling brush for this. It's super liquidy on my hand, as you can see, and you just want to tap it around in your hand first. And also this is very pigmented, so a little goes a long way, which is why I'm using this stippling brush. I got it from ColourPop. Stippling brushes will pick up less product than fluffier blush brushes. This is my normal blush brush from e.l.f., which is like a little bit fluffier and denser. This was like one pump and it's good for both my cheeks. And I really like this product actually. Like you can see how like beautifully that blended. Gives you this natural glow, super pigmented, so I feel like it will work for a lot of skin tones. Also, I specifically really like this Orgasm shade because it's like a really nice pink and it's not too warm. You can see how that just blended so effortlessly. It gives you like these watercolor cheeks and that extra glow. I might pick up another shade. I've been eyeing the Torrid shade, which is like a coral. Now, for highlighter, I'm gonna use my Rare Beauty liquid luminizer, and this is in the shade Enchant. I just haven't used this in a while because I've been using my Charlotte Tilbury highlight wand, but I figured because this one is like a really light pink, since we're going for this pinky look today, I'm just gonna take my sponge and blend it out. Yeah, these Rare Beauty luminizers are really good, and you can just see how easily that blended and it gives me that extra glow. Okay, actually I think I want a little bit more blush. Yeah, I'm just adding some more on the apples. Okay, so actually I forgot to contour my nose. Just show you how I draw it. So you just start from your eyebrow, like your inner corner of your eyebrow, and then draw a straight line down. You want your nose to be straight, and you want to position it so that the inner lines are closer together than your actual nose bridge, because you want to narrow it. Or like, this is according to traditional beauty standards. You don't have to do anything, but I'm saying if you want to adhere to those. Just take my fluffy brush and just start blending it out. And you want to blend it like in the line that you drew. Yeah, this is my like lazy way of doing it because it's pretty subtle, I feel like, especially in the way that I blend it. Like I'm not super precise, it's pretty fast to do, and I feel like it looks the most natural this way. Like if you do a more precise contouring, I feel like it tends to look more unnatural, especially like in real life. I feel like contouring, really precise extreme contouring, only looks really good in photos, but in real life it definitely looks like you drew something on your face. But this like more blurred out way, it's pretty unclockable in real life as well. Definitely like pinched my nose together, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna add a little bit of highlight. Like I never go super strong with the nose highlight. Wait, so actually now I want to powder my face. I forgot to do that earlier. So we're going into my Huda Beauty Pound Cake Powder. I've been really liking this powder actually. I feel like I would only recommend this if you're on the oilier side. I mean, I don't know because I don't have dry skin, but it's just like this is definitely a traditional powder. But I find it to be like super smoothing. Even more smoothing than my Laura Mercier one. So I've been using this one a lot. And I powder right here because I get super oily there. And you also want to use the powder and kind of bring in your nose contour a little bit. And I've also been liking to use the sponge. I feel like the sponge method is a lot better. I think it just really makes the powder sink in and just look one with your skin. I'm definitely a fan of being very specific with your powder placement. Like unless you're super oily, you don't need powder everywhere. And I feel like it tends to look better the less powder you use. But obviously like with the warmer weather coming up, and if you have oilier skin, you just like have to powder. And I find that it does wonders for texture, like because my biggest pores are here and they are gone, like not a single pore in sight. And then also right in between my eyebrows. That's pretty much it. Now onto the lips. I'm gonna go in actually with this Dior, what is it called? Rouge Dior Forever Liquid. This is in the shade 100. So this is like a really beigey nude. I'm gonna use this as a base. I like using this as a base color because it's very nudie. It's not too light of a nude. Like it doesn't wash me out. And it has like pinker undertones, which I prefer on my skin, rather than like yellow or peachy undertones for lighter nudes. I just blend that out with my finger so it's a thinner layer. I do want to add a pop of like some pink. So I'm going to use this Juicy Lasting Tint from Romand. This is in the shade 27 Pink Popsicle. So generally I try not to mix my like K-beauty and Western beauty like in one video because I feel like different people are watching my different videos. But Romand is pretty popular and accessible in the West, so I feel like I can include this. This is also not new. It's a pretty classic, well-known K-beauty formula nowadays. Yeah, I'm using this as a gradient on the inner lip. I tend to do this a lot. Like usually I'll use a matte base color that's more nudie and then like a brighter, usually K-beauty like lip tint or something that's glossy in the center. I feel like that helps cover lip dryness. I'm just gonna spray with my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Floss setting spray to lock it all in. So this is the finished look. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Just a nice springy pink look. It's a little bit on the brighter side of pink, but still wearable in my opinion. So yeah, I really like it. It's definitely in the spring mood. I feel like spring is my favorite season for like makeup and fashion because I just love pastels, like brighter tones. I'm just making the most of these springy color stories. I'm super obsessed with them. I feel like I should make these types of like full face of nothing new videos more regularly on my channel just because it's always good to look through your collection and see what you haven't been using in a while, or just like revisiting products that are older and are not like a new hot release because you know you want to get the most use out of your collection, especially if you have a lot of makeup like I do. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this type of video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you like this video and comment and subscribe down below if you want to see more content like this because it really helps out my channel and it would really mean a lot to me. And I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!